Hey everyone, it's Ethan or Miist back again for another video today, and welcome back to the channel, guys. We're here again for yet another video. Today we're going to be talking about every movie I watched last week, of course, the series I do every week. And actually there's a few TV shows I'll quickly mention up real quick. Mel and I watched 2 seasons of TV shows this week. We watched a full season of Julie and the Phantoms, of course the only season of Julie and the Phantoms. Kitty has joined. Anyways, we watched a full season of Julie and the Phantoms together, and then we watched a full season of Stranger Things. We watched Stranger Things Season 3. We started Season 4 yesterday, so we'll finish that sometime next week, I guess, but honey. One more actually real quick, not another TV show, but, I didn't even mention my thoughts. Julie and the Phantoms was pretty good. Obviously sucks that there isn't going to be a second season. Mel is very depressed about that. She's been very mad about that for years. And Kenny Ortega is her favorite director, so she loves it anyways. But as for Stranger Things Season 3, great, amazing, perfect season. I love it. 5 stars. And then, actually, my favorite watch of the week was a short film. I finally got around to watching the Clone Wars Battle of the Heroes Star Wars fan animation by Hello There on YouTube. If you guys have not watched it, please do yourselves a favor and watch it. It's basically the final Battle of the Heroes, Duel of the Fates, whatever you want to call it, between Anakin versus Obi-Wan in Revenge of the Sith, and it's in Clone Wars animation, so it's absolutely beautiful, and it took them years of time and hard work, so definitely go check it out, because they deserve that love, absolutely. So, with that being said, let's actually get into the movies. So, we watched 15 movies, including that short film, so technically 14 movies this week. Why do you bite? Why are you biting? So actually, this is the least busy week for movies that I've done so far. But with my last watch of the week, I hit watch number 50 of the year already. So that's pretty crazy. I'm on a crazy good pace right now. I think I'm on pace for like 800 movies, which I don't think that's going to happen, obviously. But anyways, my least favorite movie of the week was He's All That, which Mel and I watched together. Mel enjoyed this. I don't even have to say anything else. Mel just enjoyed this movie, which was surprising to me because it's a very, very bad movie. I really did not enjoy myself. I ranked it a 21 out of 100, which puts itself in my bottom 10 movies. I haven't updated the list. But yeah, obviously, if it's bottom 10, then it's really bad. So, with that being said, let's move on to my favorite 2024 release of the year so far, which is Justice League Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 1, ranked a 60 out of 100. So it's my favorite movie of the year, and it's, a 60 out of 100, so it's not great in any means. I think it's decent. I didn't really care for the animation all that much, and I thought there was a lot of awkward pauses throughout it, although it is also Part 1, so maybe Part 2 and Part 3 will really resolve some of my issues with it, but we'll see. Again, I wasn't a huge fan of the animation, so that doesn't really help, obviously, but we'll move on to R.I.P.D., or Rest in Peace Department, which I enjoyed. I seem to enjoy it more than most. I ranked it at 63, so it gets a 3-star for me. I think on the average letterbox, it was really low. It was really, really low, but overall, I enjoyed this for the most part. It was really poor CGI, but overall, I did enjoy it. I really like Jeff Bridges. He was awesome in this, so that was a big bonus, of course. And then we can now start about what essentially most of my week was. 10 Star Trek movies this week. I've only got 3 others to watch, which I'm going to do next week. But yeah, let's start it off with my least favorite Star Trek, which I watched today. Star Trek Insurrection, a 67 out of 100. So 67 out of 100 is my lowest for Star Trek. That's pretty solid. I've never watched Star Trek before. This is the first time watch for every single Star Trek movie for me. So yeah, a 67 out of 100. I thought it was decent. I'm really not a big fan of the 4 Next Generation ones. With that being said, Star Trek First Contact, a 68 out of 100, so just a little bit better than Insurrection. But again, I didn't really enjoy this one all that much either. Still, it's not a high rating. It's still a 3-star for me. It's just a decent movie. It's almost good, but I just didn't really care. I found myself struggling to care for any of the characters in the Next Generation films, and that's obviously an issue, right? So similarly, Star Trek Nemesis, a 69 out of 100, still not a great movie in my opinion. And it's also tied with the first of the Next Generation movie, which is Star Trek Generations, also a 69 out of 100, but I do prefer Generations, but I think they should have the same rank, so that's why they're both at a 69 out of 100. Overall, I don't think any of those 4 movies are special in any way, and yeah, I don't think they're really worth watching. They probably are in the grand scheme of things, I guess, but yeah, I overall just didn't really enjoy them that much. I expected to enjoy them more. But with that being said, let's move on to Star Trek number 5, which is The Final Frontier, which I ranked a 72 out of 100. This is my least favorite of the original 6. And one thing about this is that I was really surprised about how much I was going to fall in love with Spock and James T. Kirk as characters. I didn't think I would like their characters as much as I do, but I really, really do enjoy their characters. They've become some favorites of mine, honestly, which is funny. But yeah, Final Frontier is my least favorite of the original 6. It's decent. Well, it's good, I think, but yeah, it's nothing too special in my opinion. So with that being said, moving on to Star Trek 3, which is The Search for Spock. This was the first Leonard Nimoy directed one. I believe the Final Frontier was William Shatner that directed. So anyways, The Search for Spock, a 74 out of 100. Not great either, but I did enjoy it. It was my least favorite until 5, of course. But yeah, overall, I just think both of those, like 3 and 5, aren't anything special, but I did enjoy them. Now, unfortunately, with watching 10 Star Trek movies this week, I do feel like they've kind of all blended in together a little bit, so I don't really know if I could actually tell you how much I remember about a specific movie, because I remember just one big plot, really, I feel, because they're pretty much all connected in a row with each other. So anyways, let's move on to my last non-Star Trek movie of the week, which is Big Fat Liar. I seem to be higher on this one than most people as well. Again, another really low average on Letterboxd, but I enjoyed it once again. A 78 out of 100 for myself. I enjoyed it. I thought it was funny. Yeah, Paul Giamatti's great. So, yeah, with that being said, let's move on to the original Star Trek movie, Star Trek The Motion Picture, a 78 out of 100. And I feel like back in the day when this came out, I believe 1979, this must have been an achievement in filmmaking because it looks incredible. It's a visual masterpiece. I watched the director's cut. It was fantastic. It was just phenomenal to look at. That one really stood out to me, just the way to look at it, because it was beautiful to look at. And overall, I thought it was a pretty good movie. I did enjoy it. So keep going to Star Trek number 6, The Undiscovered Country, a 79 out of 100. I really enjoyed this one as well. And actually, funnily enough, I didn't even mention it, but the original 6, I have them ranked the same that Letterboxd average ratings are. So the order of lowest to highest is the same on my list. So the average Letterboxd ratings all match up with what my rankings are of the films, which is pretty funny, from 6 to 1 at least. So yeah, but with that being said, on to Star Trek Star Trek number 4, The Voyage Home, the first 4-star Star Trek, an 80 out of 100 for me. I really enjoyed that one as well. I thought that one was great. And yeah, I mean, overall, I thought it was very interesting. I think this was the one where I really started to enjoy these characters. I really liked everyone on the crew, and I remember 4 being funny. That was the first one that I remember actually laughing at, and I laughed a couple times, so that was obviously pretty good. And I feel like that's when I really started to enjoy the characters. But then on to my favorite Star Trek movie, and really my favorite actual movie of the week, because not counting the short film. It's Star Trek number 2, The Wrath of Khan, which Khan was absolutely the best villain in any of these Star Trek movies. I really loved Khan. He was awesome. He was intimidating. He was very cool. And again, I just feel like this one was just by far the best. I really enjoyed it. But it's pretty close with Voyage Home and Undiscovered Country, to be fair. But yeah, The Wrath of Khan, an 81 out of 100 for my favorite movie of the week. So nothing too special, nothing too crazy this week. But I'm going to finish the Star Treks next week. Of course, I have the new trilogy to watch. And then I'll update you guys on that, of course, for next week's video. So thank you guys all so much for watching. Hopefully you did enjoy, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.